Hello, and welcome to PlayStation Unchained's Tournament of the Overrated, Part 6. Can you believe we're on Part 6 already? The final 16 games, the last 8 matches of this round. The only 8 matches, stupid of me to say, really. Anyway, it's us back again, your host, Neil Bolt, that is I, joined as ever by Ben Shillabeer-Hall.
I am here.
By Garri Bagdasarov.
Sup?
Well, you don't get mad when he says it.
Let's skip the other two. Let's just go start the
The bag of sorrows has been opened.
It's very DeVisser about it.
Yeah.
Why do you take
DeVisser?
Garri's side, Ben?
Because he knows that this verbal abuse can't last forever.
To be honest, that just sounds really badass. So,
To be fair, I really thought that Neil said Bagosaurus this time, and I'm just trying to picture the dinosaur.
A Snorlax with scales.
You don't have to look far, just a little lower than my waist.
Wait, would it be like, guys? Would it be like a dinosaur butterface and you just have a giant bag on it?
That sounds about
Although
right.
that's Garri anyways, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alfonso, I need you to defend me again.
Oh, I bet he's laughing right now. Feeling like a right hypocrite. Love you. Love you, Fonzie.
Even if you are morally corrupt, it's fine. We love you anyway.
Buy my stuff.
They're lame. Don't believe them.
Anyway, where was I? Yes, introducing people. Also, of course, we have Tim. New Metal. Was it ever anything good?
A few things, but it didn't last long.
Yeah. And finally, as you may have guessed, we have Chris DeVisser.
Thank you, Neil.
Neil's
really nice, unlike some people.
He really wanted to say DeVisser.
I know you did, and you resisted. And it is appreciated.
I am very antagonistic.
I don't know why you wouldn't say his real name.
Neil is the
Real
anti-hero.
Yeah, I stir the pot and sit back and let everyone argue. So it's fine.
Throwing a rock at a bee's nest.
Yeah, and there's like dynamite attached to the rock as well. It's not a bee's nest. It's a building. No, hang on, that was too far, perhaps. Maybe not that much. Because we are recording this. It's out there. Don't want people to get no idea.
Shit, we are.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody is listening. I'm pretty sure of that, at least. Anyway, yes, we are back to the tournament to determine the most overrated PlayStation game of all time. And we have 2 groups now left, 8 in each, and 8 matches to get through. So I got to find my little whatever it's called. My little I can't remember what I call it. Name generator, if you will. Which is, of course,
Must be really little if you're having trouble finding it.
Well, it's a common problem. So.
It's just,
Probably don't want to say that in public.
It's fine.
Aye, it is. I do. It is dubbed the turtle.
Is it
Oh,
called?
boy.
Nope, just really small.
Honesty is the best policy.
Actually, I've always found that a bit weird that it's referred to as a turtle's head when it's a tortoise that puts his head in the shell. So
That's true.
yeah, there you go.
The more you don't want to know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's your fun news thing for the day. Anyway, yes, so we will go Tim, Garri, Ben, and Chris. That order. The
Game Boy Advance color. Not Advance.
I think he's trying to say you're an arsehole, Chris.
I really am. It's okay. You can fully admit it.
I understood.
In my defense, the Game Boy Advance is the first thing I think of when it comes to Game Boy. So,
yeah, fair enough.
# superior hardware. Oh, just kidding.
Right, well, Tim, you get to kick us off. So, group 1 or 2?
I always like to go number 2.
Who doesn't?
Garri.
It's a fine way to while away the
I
time.
don't know. I sometimes don't like number 2s. They can be quite painful.
Well,
I'm with Ben on this.
Yeah.
Number
If you're
2s aren't
constantly-
always that fun.
If you're constantly chugging hot sauce, it's gonna be.
All right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but
If
at least
you're-
when I go on the top, I can go, a Dorkin!
Is that the Battle of the Somme in there? I imagine.
Sure, you
Yeah, so number 2.
Number
Who does
two.
number 2?
Yes, who does number 2 work for? I.e., what number from 1 to 8 are you going to pick from Group 2?
Number 2 works for number 8.
Does it? So, Rock Band is kicking us off this week.
Good. I definitely found a real duty.
Yep.
So, that follows to Garri.
number 1.
Number 1, something you'll never be.
Ah,
Oh, I like Gary.
I know, it's too
No,
easy.
Gary's adorable in that sort of way.
I know, it's it. He's the underdog, the plucky underdog that you're always rooting for.
oh, he's perky.
Picks.
He's perky and he's hairy. He's all
This song is kind of scary.
the bag of sorrows.
So much hate. So much hate.
The Gary family.
Do you see me making a song for anybody else right now?
Me?
Nobody else gets a song.
Yeah, other than Tim. Other than Tim, who I go to the effort of making up different things for his name every week when I can. So, feel honoured, Gary. Feel honoured.
Even I don't get anything like that. I just get, hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
You get friendly.
What do you mean? You get Chili Willy, man. Come on.
Ben has prestige, you see. So,
That sounds zesty.
You get a hello, Ben.
hello, Ben.
Oh.
Good evening.
This is going great today. We
Yeah.
haven't even. Were we ever on track?
One game out the gate in what 10 minutes? Yeah, we're doing great.
The track's somewhere
Gary.
over there, maybe.
Yes. So, Gary, you pick Group 1. So, what
8.
number? 8. 8v8. It is Uncharted 4.
Oh boy.
Good boy. What a barrel of biscuits. Okay, Ben, you're up first. Vote with your feet, or eyes, or mouth, whichever is
I'll be
preferable.
honest, I've forgotten what the games were. Well, I remember Rock Band.
Yeah, and that was the one that was a while back, and I would be understanding if you'd forgotten that one, but the one that was
Ben
10 seconds ago.
The Carolina Reapers have destroyed Ben's short-term memory. He remembers things longer than 5 minutes ago, but beyond that, it's all a haze.
Like
Before
4
that.
hours. 4 hours from now, he'll just wake up screaming and going, "I voted for Uncharted!" So, and
No, there's something wrong with that. He's not going to go to sleep.
that's true. I think he has like micro naps and then
It's-
just jolts himself awake. With,
Yeah, it's more like a meditative state that he's in, where he's not fully asleep.
Yeah,
yeah.
between load screens and docking, he takes power naps.
Commitment to the cause. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah. So Ben, Rock Band versus Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Or
Well, you
Thief's
know
End.
what? I'm going to make everyone hate me. I'm going to go with Uncharted 4.
Okay.
Just because, as I said before, Rock Band and Guitar Hero inspired the genre at the time. Really, it helped push the music games forward. So, and Uncharted 4 was just something that I barely struggled to beat because it just didn't grip me like Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 did. So,
Yeah.
it's just overrated for me because of that.
Okay. It's fair reasoning. Fair reasoning. Chris.
Oh, yeah. I was going to go the other way, but Ben does make a good point. Of course,
Doesn't.
You wait your turn.
I'm just kidding, Ben. Well,
It's a hostile environment today.
Yeah, it's a tougher choice than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
just because I mean, as we've stated, like Rock Band. I mean, the music games are just kind of a dead thing now. But Uncharted has also ended, and I think 4 was a good send off for Nathan and our heroes. But man, I mean, I don't know that it was as perfect as, like, 1 or 2. Well, 1 wasn't that great. For me, 2 I still think is the best Uncharted.
Yeah, it never got any better, to be fair.
Yeah. So just because of what Rock Band did I know I've said this before, it kind of killed itself, but at the same time, harmonics pretty much made the music genre popular and amazing. Like, I know everybody loved, like, DDR came out before that, and that was kind of a popular, but they took it to that next level with
for me, I would say DDR was more popular in arcades.
Yeah,
Rock
but that's
Band,
where they got their start. This was like the evolution of that, It's like, so yeah.
I'm gonna go with Uncharted. Ben convinced me. I'm gonna go with Uncharted 4 as being the more overrated of the two.
Interesting.
That's what this is about.
that is indeed what this is about. Tim.
Yeah, I'd say Uncharted 4 as well is overrated between the two. Where Rock Band provided a growth, and sure, it's not really anywhere anymore, but at the time, Rock Band pushed forward that genre, whereas Uncharted 4 just made a pretty version of something they'd done already, compiling ideas from other games to make like their own games, of course. They're Naughty Dog games. They combine what made The Last of Us special and the Uncharted series beforehand special. Like, all the refinements of it were just put into 4. And 4, in terms of gameplay and performance, it really didn't push any grounds. I mean, sure, it looked great, but I mean,
yeah, it notoriously had a very troubled development. Obviously, the Last of Us guys came in and just took over halfway through because it was in a mess, and yeah, it was a salvage job, and a very good salvage job in that regard. But as a result, it was a bit safer than it probably should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't push the kind of boundaries that the other games had, even though they started to lessen with 3. But yeah, Uncharted 4.
Still, good game. Can't be denied.
Sure.
Garri.
Rock Band for me. I think, like Chris said, Rock Band in a way killed itself. But I also think it killed the entire genre. It took it out. It took it down with it. Sure, it was great when it came out, but then, like every big success, it got to their head. And then instead of releasing the way they should have released, where you had the one game and just buy all these tracks, they decided to do, here's a Beatles version, here's this version and that version, and you can only get these songs in this version. And to me, it really brought down the enthusiasm to play those games. To me, Guitar Hero, I always thought was better. I always thought it had the better tracks, at least ones I would enjoy more. But yeah, to me, Rock Band was good when it came out, and then every year they decided to release a new one, and it killed it.
I'm actually sad. I didn't expect Rock Band to actually... Uncharted to actually win.
Well, you've got to vote, with your head and your heart on this. So it's just a way of it. That's.
Sorry, Garri, carry on. But yeah,
go on.
No, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like, I think it not only killed itself, but it killed the genre as well.
You say killed. It's the only one of the two active at this point, and it has now done what you were just saying. It failed to do at the beginning, which is be a games as a service now, where all the tracks from all the old games that they could get back are in it, and you can re-download all the ones you ever bought if they're applicable. Obviously, because
and that's great and all, but it's just sad that nobody really talks about it anymore.
Oh no, because it's settled into its niche, if you will. It's
And I think you told me that they're still releasing tracks for the game.
Yeah.
But yet, I never see it on any download list. I never see it anywhere. And I remember because Sony they always promoted it during, like on their PlayStation blog. Like, oh, get these tracks coming out for Rock Band, and then nothing at all.
Yeah.
It's like, socially the game is dead, but it's still alive.
Yeah, it has its audience. It's just
there are 12 people that still play it that are the whales that make up for all of the thousands of dollars they make every year to keep them coming out with tracks. It's all good.
There's dozens of
They're
us.
still doing
Literally
their thing.
dozens of us.
You sting me, sir. You sting me. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but still, regardless, it is Uncharted 4 that will be moving into the
We didn't get
quarterfinals.
Tim's vote, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Okay.
we did. Yeah, you just missed it, like half the conversation.
It's been less than 5 minutes. So.
We're still within the threshold.
You're like a reverse goldfish. Ah, dear. Right, so Ben, can you keep it together just long enough to pick a number?
4.
Right, out of groups first. So 1 or 2.
Oh, 2.
2. And you can have 1 to 7.
I'm going to go with 7.
7. 7 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Okay.
Okay, and it is joined by the pick of Chris.
Let's go with 1
Mm-hmm.
and 4.
4 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh.
Okay, so Tim, kick this one off.
Okay, so at the risk of sounding like Ben, I forgot what the first one was.
It's spreading.
It was Grand Theft Auto 4.
No,
San Andreas. That's the San Andreas.
God damn it.
It's the Ben disease, Ben virus,
Yes, I've infected you all.
the B virus.
Apollitis.
It's like some really weird podcast spin-off of Pontypool in here at the minute. So.
I got chili beer-itis. Oh god, this one's. It was 4, right? Call of Duty 4, not.
No, yeah, Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare 2.
Excuse me, thank you.
Wait, Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
Oh.
That was affecting Gary.
No, I thought it was just Modern Warfare. I didn't know.
What is happening?
Okay, so I don't really have a good way to vote on this because I've played neither of them.
Oh, you can abstain.
Then
So.
flip a coin and pick whichever one.
I mean, I can give thoughtful things. Not thoughtful. I can give thoughts. Not thought. I can give thoughts on them. So I'm gonna flip a coin.
I can't have thoughts, Tim.
I'm gonna flip my bicentennial coin. You have Drummer Boy as tails, and you have George Washington as heads. Here we go. All right, it's Bicentennial Man. Let's talk about that movie. No,
God, don't. Please.
please don't.
Please.
Okay, after I flipped the coin, I realized I didn't assign anybody to the coin.
What is this strange disease?
I was
Am
so
I gonna
excited
be
about
like-
the Bicentennial Man reference mid-coin flip that I just didn't even go with it. So,
All I know
okay.
is yes.
I'm glad I've got things written in front of me because I don't want to get affected by this.
But you don't actually, since you're taking strides to avoid it, you might actually be illiterate at the end of this. Okay,
Right.
Backwards.
That's all right.
Okay, let me try this.
So I can go and work for Jewel Shoppers.
I get it.
Oh, them sick burns.
Or like piss square.
Jesus.
Heads is COD. There, I made a choice.
Okay.
Oh, good. I get to talk about COD. I don't like that one. So, COD is going to be my overrated game.
Okay.
And it's going to be a very personal answer because one, I haven't played either of them. But of the two, I've always wanted to play San Andreas.
Yeah.
I've just never gotten around to it. In fact, I bought it on PS4, which I haven't done with Modern Warfare. To be fair, though, my God, I lost my thought. But to be fair, like it's way too expensive. To be fair, it's way too expensive to buy again at this point. But that's the whole different thing.
Just to clarify, that the Modern Warfare 2 is not on PS4.
Oh, excuse
PS4,
me.
yeah.
I was thinking Modern Warfare. I have played Modern Warfare 2. Holy shit. Okay. This changes everything.
I'm gonna hit my keyboard with my head and see if I can come up with some words for everyone. So,
Okay. Okay, Modern Warfare 2. This since I actually didn't make a vote, it's not me taking back on anything because I didn't choose something that was on the voting ballot.
yeah.
So with that in mind, I haven't played.
Who would ever vote for something without really being informed?
Me.
49.7% of American people.
Yeah. About
Less than
57% of the Brits. Yeah.
Less than the majority who won somehow.
Yeah.
Gerrymandering. Anyway, I've played 2 and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna have to say San Andreas is overrated in this comparison. Because the one thing that really is touted with Modern Warfare 2 is it's online because it's COD. COD is always going to be front run with the multiplayer. And then while that was fine, I mean, I played a good amount of it whenever, but I was super interested in the narrative, and it wasn't like complicated, but it had interesting arcs and interesting hooks and things and some other things that I didn't really expect would happen. And not like narratively happen, but like on American soil happen. And it was a really cool juxtaposition to having them on like, you know, foreign soils and things. As an American, it's very different to have, you know, like the conflict here and thinking, oh shit, this could be, you know, right here. And thinking about it now, it's definitely a thing. But I really liked at the time some of the things that it made me think about. And it wasn't super complicated, but it's stuff I never thought about before, especially with the shooting game. Yeah, I would definitely say then that San Andreas would be overrated.
Fair do. Good call. Garri.
Call of Duty.
Okay, you don't want me to go over the games again, just so you're sure.
Wait, what did I vote for?
I don't know.
Oh god, he's illiterate.
Oh man. No, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. To me, it's the most forgettable Call of Duty. I never actually thought about going back to it, much like I would all the other ones. Like I still to this day think about going back and playing World at War, to be honest. But
Yes.
yeah, to me, like it took what was great about this new direction that Call of Duty was taking with Modern Warfare, and it ruined it, in my opinion, when it comes to multiplayer, at least. All the great things that it did in the first game, they took it and they micromanaged it, essentially, and split it up into all these other tiny little things. And then they give you this weapon that's pretty much an insta-win for your team with the nuke. And when you had a lot of hackers in the game, which there were a lot and there still are, it literally killed the entire game because you'd start in and then 10 minutes into the game or 5 minutes into the match and they won, even though they were losing the entire match, and they won just because it got nuked. I don't know. To me, it took what was great and it stripped it down into individual parts instead of as a whole, and it killed it. And the story itself, to me, it had surprises, yes, but it was a very forgettable story.
There was a large chunk of that game that reminded me of, like, really, really much like of one from Resistance 2. And just like there was a setting that it was identical. I swear to God, it was the same thing. It was. I think it's where they do the when they defend the cafe or the diner.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think there's a bit in Resistance 2 that is almost exactly like it. Yeah, it's a. So yeah, I didn't love either game, to be fair.
I was thinking maybe it's that part where that big alien was attacking and destroying the city, but yeah, like that. I can see the cafe part too.
Yeah, maybe I just was in that much of a drunken stupor that they just blend into one.
No, Resistance 2 was pretty garbage. So.
Oh man,
Hashtag.
how to shoot yourself in the foot big time.
Yeah.
Never mind. Whatever happened to that developer, huh?
I don't know. They're making some weird ass superhero games now.
Yeah. Shit. Probably not a good superhero. Ben.
Grand Theft Auto.
Surprise is minimal.
Because we all know I'm not a big fan of Rockstar, so I'm just going to go with them.
Fair enough.
I mean, how can I hate the indie developer that makes Call of Duty?
How could you? I mean, it would just be disgusting.
I know. I would be insulted for hating indies.
Okay, so at the minute, GTA San Andreas leads 2-1. So we go to Chris with the weather.
Well, it's balmy out here. No, Modern Warfare 2, for sure. Because fuck that game. Fuck that game, and fuck that game.
Wow.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that great. Yeah, no, I've said my pieces about it before about the racism on Xbox, and that was kind of the one that brought it to light. And San Andreas being, in my opinion, the best Grand Theft Auto still. So yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, I do. So it's a tiebreaker as ever. Yes, I'm going to be very predictable, but I will explain at least why. GTA San Andreas, I think, is overrated by comparison on its own terms, because GTA 4 gets a lot more shit for being a bit more ambitious in a different way. GTA San Andreas was like, what can we put in this game? Let's tick off a list. And yeah, revisiting it, it's not the most enjoyable game at this point. So, whereas 4, I could still do that with. And COD Modern Warfare 2 was all right, but nowhere near the scores it got, nowhere near the money it made. And I think I could say that for pretty much every COD after it, really. So, yeah, COD. So COD goes through 3-2. So, Tim, we're back round to you again. Pick a group. There are only 2, just 2.
5, 2.
2. You can have anything from 1 to 6.
I'm gonna go more manly side and pick 2.
Sure, 2-2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You get me.
I get you. And quite apt, it's Chrono Cross.
Awesome.
So, Garri, pick the poison.
Let's go 1 and 1.
Uncharted 3.
You know, Gary, that doesn't automatically make you number 1, right?
It does in my mind and my mom's mind, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm always number 1.
Bless.
Gary, number 1.
Thanks, Mom.
You were very good against the Undertaker, Garri. I know.
Hey. It's not my fault I had to wrestle against a 58-year-old man. Couldn't really do much.
Ben, you are on the vote first. Chrono Cross.
Go with Chrono Cross just because Uncharted was the best. Uncharted 3 was the second best Uncharted, so I can't really. Yeah.
I agree with that.
So Chrono Cross.
At least the Uncharted vote.
It goes against Uncharted.
Okay, Chris.
I really hate to do this to Chrono Cross, but yeah, I mean, of the 2, I think Chrono Cross is more overrated.
Are you driving?
Am I what?
Are you driving?
Am I driving?
Yeah, it sounded like you were in a car for a...
Does it sound like I'm zooming past things?
It did,
yeah, the speed of light.
Wow. Okay, I'm not sure what is going on. I am prone stationary.
Look outside. Maybe someone's trying to steal your house.
I mean, you're prone to stationery.
As I work in print, yes, indeed, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Made it funny.
That's the joke.
Oh, what is happening to us today?
Everything.
Yeah. No, I do. I still love Chrono Cross, but of the more influential games, not so much. So yeah, Chrono Cross is definitely more overrated of the two.
Okay. Tim, I guess you echo this sentiment.
I haven't played Chrono Cross.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
Nothing wrong with that, my friend.
Right,
Shut
and
up, Garri.
I've heard so many number 2 things about it, but I've always been super curious just because of its, coming from its source matter. But I also haven't played the source matter. So I think because of that, like my even wanting to play a game that's recommended not to be played, I would say that makes it quite overrated.
Cool. That's fair enough. I mean, why not? Why not?
Why not?
So, I mean, that leaves Garri, who's voiced his opinion on this game. I think there were words said about this.
Chrono Cross. I don't want to upset Chris anymore, but Chrono Cross.
You're not. Dude, what
after what happened last
time? I'm agreeing with you.
after
fucking
what happened-
agreeing with you.
And yet you're still shouting.
There it is.
And I'm still shit. No, this is what Garri does to me. I can agree with him. Oh, I don't want to piss Chris off.
This is my agreeing
opinion.
accent.
I'm agreeing with you. Fuck you. I'm disagreeing with you. Well, fuck you too, Garri. Jesus, I can't win. I can't win with you.
This is my very agreeing voice. I agree.
Damn, dude. I'm agreeing with you. I don't want to piss Chris off by agreeing with him. Fuck. Let's just agree to agree, Garri.
I don't know why you're yelling at me again.
Because it's fun.
Because this is how he agrees.
You yelled at me last week for something I don't even remember because
Oh my god. Oh my god.
and now this. Okay. Chrono Cross.
Right, so Chrono Cross rats.
Scared. I'm scared for my life.
I want to piss Chris off.
Sorry.
No, I'm sharing his opinion.
Ben, pick a group.
I think I already. Oh, group. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
You could, I did. That was nothing to do with your selection.
Okay.
You can have the numbers 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1.
1. Final Fantasy 9.
Oh, sorry, Klaus.
So, Chris?
If 2?
You composed yourself now.
I'm always composed.
Okay.
You can have the number 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Let's go with 5.
5 is Mass Effect 2.
Oh my god, it's Gary's favourite Mass Effect.
Oh dear. That's it. Okay, well, Tim is supposed to go next, but I think he's gone to the bathroom. So I'm sure he'll love that we've pointed that out on his stream. But cool.
It's not like you're getting shit taken.
So, Garri, we'll jump straight to you. Garri, which is the best Mass Effect of these two?
I'm gonna have to go with Mass Effect 2 on this one.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that Final Fantasy IX has made it this far, but I think it's just been up against some other games that were better or less overrated, I guess.
Overrated Mass Effects.
Yeah, so Mass Effect 2, for things we talked about last week, I thought the story was boring. The characters weren't my favorite ones. Just very boring in general. The mining, having to mine planets, I couldn't stand doing that. Yeah,
fair enough.
Shooty bang bang Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, fair bets that one. Ben.
I'll be honest, I'm going to go with Mass Effect. Just so I can keep taking the piss out of Garri.
Fair enough.
Should have gone with Mass Effect 9.
The best Mass Effect.
The best one.
Final Effect 9.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Mass Effect 2 just because that way I can bring up the Mass Effect joke with context in the future episode.
Okay, that's fair enough. So Chris. All eyes.
Yeah. No, I
You're going to make it massive difference.
No, given this, oh yes, the fact that Final Fantasy IX has made it this far is really sad to me, because for everything that we've already talked about being wrong with it, there were a lot of things that they got right. Whereas, it comes down to it. I finished Final Fantasy IX. I didn't finish Mass Effect 2 because I got fucking bored of it, and Final Fantasy IX kept me invested at least. So, yeah, no, Mass Effect 2 is the worst Mass Effect.
Okay. Tim, are you back?
I heard Tim voted for Mass Effect.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point because Mass Effect.
No, he'll go with Mass Effect. He loves Final Fantasy IX. I know that.
Final Fantasy IX is his favourite Mass Effect.
On the Citadel.
Freya, best waifu forever.
Vivi, best friend forever.
We'll come back and get his vote on that, but at the same time, we'll.
Not really.
No. Who was last there? Who was the last one to? Because that's throwing me out on.
I think it's Tim now, isn't
it?
No, I think it's Ben, isn't it?
No,
I
just voted.
No, I vote. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
it's
Timmy.
Yeah. So it's back round to Garri.
This is going to screw everything up.
It is, but Tim's not here.
What? I know. Why don't?
Oh no! Hang on. He's back.
Oh, damn it! He's back.
Whew.
That's what I said.
Welcome back.
How was your poo-poo?
I'm reminded of a scene from American Dad where Stan and Steve are comparing manhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Steve says, "Oh, is a rabbit Ben here?"
By the way, I've been playing the Defiance beta, and I forgot to try and have no swearing to get their age rating down. Anytime someone says "oh shit," they say "oh shiitake."
Please eat some shiitake mushrooms.
Just the best. The best.
That's another pop culture reference, Gary.
It's like, holy shiitake. I'm like, what?
Gary's never seen it.
It's criminal that we have an anime podcast, a wrestling podcast, a games podcast, and yet we don't have a film one at this point.
What haven't I seen? What haven't I seen? Tell me.
Austin Powers.
Gold member.
Oh my god. I loved Austin Powers. All three of them.
Not that much, I guess.
Okay. Oh my god. Just because I don't get your weird ass references every day.
No, you get my references, you just don't understand them.
All I know is if we do a film podcast, we should split it, like do the anime podcast one week, then the film podcast and the anime.
Yes.
And I shouldn't be on it because I don't really watch movies.
You've heard of them, though.
Nor do I, Ben. I don't think I've seen a movie past, 2001.
Oh, I've seen a few movies, but I don't watch that many.
This is a weird world.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
Tim, what's your favourite Mass Effect? Is it Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 9?
Or Mass Fantasy 9.
We're not asking for your favourite anyway, by the way, because this is about.
Isn't Fear Effect your favourite Mass Effect?
Don't you dare talk bad about Fear Effect.
I wasn't.
It's a favorite.
Yeah, so just to clarify that you would have voted for Mass Effect 2, I assume, on this one.
Oh God, I don't know. I loved them both, but of the two, Mass Effect is the one that provided something.
Would it help if I tell you that Mass Effect's already won?
Yeah, no matter what you want, Mass Effect goes for anyway.
No, I mean, I think Mass Effect, when it it made its way onto PlayStation 3, it was, it wasn't like a renaissance or anything, but it was a jump. It was nice. It was like this great, refreshing viewpoint. And I mean, I don't know, I can't say exactly what it brought to the franchise because that was my first exposure, but I can say that it brought quite a bit to the brand, the PlayStation brand, when it came over. And yeah, and the fact that the PS3 version was better than the Xbox version, yeah, it says something too. I would say, like, considering Final Fantasy IX was just like a love letter of the best parts of RPGs and Final Fantasy's previous successes. It didn't really push anything. I mean, it put together. I remember listening to the podcast where this was, where this game was up against something else, and I remember what it was, and I was so sad when 9 lost, but I really had to think about it. And
so far,
here I am.
Against GTA 4 in the first round.
Yeah, and
it routed GTA. Yeah,
it
wouldn't have a chance. Yeah, Call of Duty in the round after that. Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I mean, as special as Final Fantasy IX is to me, it's, in comparison, it's pretty overrated.
Okay, so Mass Effect 2 wins 3-1. So we're halfway through. There's still a chance for an all Fallout match, an all Bethesda match. So it's.
I'm hoping it's at the end. I want that to be like the.
We have, of course, lost out on Final Fantasy versus Final Fantasy, but that's that's the only clash now we have left is a Bethesda clash. Right, so Tim, you've done that. But you are actually picking first because that's the way it should be going.
Well, I'm going to get out of the twos now because I'm out. I have 1. And
you can pick 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7.
7.
7. Did you like the emphasis I put on the 7?
7.
7. Well, it's strange because guess what? It was the subject of last week's poll. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh God, no!
Oh, how did that poll do? I haven't looked.
As you mentioned it, 182 votes.
Nice.
58% Metal Gear Solid 5.
Nice.
Bioshock. So yeah.
1.
Yes.
I voted for Metal Gear because I didn't actually look at what I was voting at. I just clicked the first button.
That's fine.
I love Gary's answer to Maelstrom Radio's Bioshock is artwork. So Gary says that you want to burn.
That says a lot.
By the way, go check them out.
Well, that's what the argument was about. Now I remember.
Go check out twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio with Flatus and Shinter as they talk about Fantasy 14 content.
Neo Alastair said MGS5 isn't rated that highly, which, yes, in
93,
yeah, in that, but I can agree in the sense of publicly, no, it isn't.
But it was overrated, that's for sure.
So, yes, and here it is again. What can it come up against is the question that we asked, and Gary shall provide us with that answer.
1.
You can have 2, 3, 5, or 6.
Deuce.
Deuce Springsteen.
Okay, guess what? It's Fallout 3.
Oh God! Damn it!
Now this is interesting.
Which one do you hate the most?
Well, we are now denied a Fallout versus Fallout for now, anyway. So, Ben, it's up. You kick it off.
Fallout 3. Is there a choice right now?
Really? Well, there is. Yeah, there's 2 games here.
No, because Metal Gear Solid 5 was a pretty decent game. No, I was thinking of 4 for a second there. I just realised that.
That's how good it was.
You shut your butt.
No, I was thinking of the camo suit and the music player.
I really want to say that again.
But seriously, Metal Gear Solid 5, I did enjoy it for what it was. It wasn't great, but it had some decent for an open world game. It had some decent open world stuff. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed Metal Gear 5 more than I did Fallout Buggy 3. So Fallout 3 is my overrated game.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, hey Ben, you know what game had some decent open world stuff for a decent open world game? Fucking Fallout 3. Oh my god. I honestly can't believe
if you can do those things without breaking the game.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck. Yeah, you know what? You know what?
No,
Hang on.
Chris, stop now.
For all of the shit that Bethesda gets for having broken glitchy games, like I get it, okay? But you know how much work they have to put in to make sure that shit isn't a broken glitchy mess?
None of it.
You know how much with all of the fucking shit that they put into those games, where you can go, what you can do. No, you know what? Fallout 3 took what Oblivion did perfectly and made it even better in a future like post-apocalyptic sci-fi setting. And then we got Fallout New Vegas out of it, which is like the best Fallout ever. So, no, I'm not going to hear any more of this bullshit about, Fallout 3 is a shitty game, Bethesda's a shitty company making video games anymore. No, fuck you. Fallout 3 was a damn gem. And all of the cool shit you could do in it was just icing on a perfect cake. Yeah, Liam Neeson, yeah, big fucking deal. I'm tired of hearing all these arguments about it. When all of you have said how much you hate Metal Gear Solid 5 and how bad Konami murdered it.
All of you! I hate Metal Gear 5. I liked it.
Neil never said that.
Yeah, I'm an advocate.
I liked it. Metal Gear 5 is one of my... I mean, no, actually isn't one of my favourites. It's a good game.
We need a backpedal.
See? It's I get it. You all want to like it, and you want to like the stealth aspect of it. You had a lot of fun doing all the shit, but at the end of the day, you all think that it's the worst Metal Gear. You hate it because of what Konami did to it. You hate the series now that it's a pachinko machine. It all happened with fucking Metal Gear Solid 5. Fallout 3 is a great game. We got Fallout 4, and that Bethesda's still making games, not pachinko machines. Why? Why all the love for a game you all hate?
It all started in 3, not 5. Because 3 is the one that's a pachinko machine.
Yeah, 3 is a pachinko machine.
Which is the heart and soul of the franchise right
this
there.
This Bioshock hate is just bad, man.
I know, it's crazy. Anyway, so...
I would say we put this on a Twitter vote this week, but I feel I know the vote.
Chris has to make another 200 accounts.
Wow! Oh my God, Garri, I'm gonna cock slap you the next time I see you so hard. You're gonna go to work and be like, people are gonna look at you and be like, "Did you get a dick tattooed on the side of your cheek? What the fuck?"
It's like a little dimple.
Oh.
God damn it!
Right. Okay. Back on track. You're voting for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
Cool. So one apiece. Tim.
Okay. My first exposure to Fallout 3. I almost forgot the name. My first exposure to Persona. Wow. Fallout 3 was... I was down there for a second. I called myself out, and there it went. But yeah, my first exposure was... my first exposure in the franchise at all was 3, and my expectations were pretty low because I didn't really know what to expect, and I was running around and I kept getting killed and kept dying, and like I'd run across the map, the open world, like all the aspects of the open world. I go out and explore things. I'd die. It didn't save. I forgot to save. So I'd always have to go back and redo it, and I would never remember to save. I did this. I was so thick-headed when I started playing this. I did that for 7 hours. 7 hours.
Wow.
It was bad. But I wanted to play that game. But I couldn't. And that's all the farther I went with Fallout 3.
Yeah.
That being said, with my expectation being 0, Fallout 3 never let me down. So 5 is my vote.
5 is your vote. Ooh, so Garri.
I'm scared.
Don't make me do this.
Garri, remember who has the power of editing.
I haven't played any of them. I don't have an opinion.
Shut your butt. You played 5. Liar. Looks at your trophy list.
Oh my god.
Go with your heart, Garri.
Go with your heart.
I've already ranted, Gary. You don't have to worry about me freaking out over what you say.
No. I actually have to go with 5 on this one. As much as I had problems with 3, like Tim said, I actually finished 3, and I did enjoy a lot of what 3 brought. I didn't feel it was as buggy as the next 2 games they made. And I did enjoy it for what it was. I love the VAT system. It's this cool brand new system they introduced. Slow down time, aim at specific body parts. That was fun.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And I wish I could play the game only that way, but obviously I couldn't because it was limited. And I had to wait for it to recharge. But with 5... like I said before, 5, I thought the core gameplay mechanics were great in 5. I just didn't understand why so much of it was, I guess, downgraded. Like, why did I have to change my costume or my camouflage before the mission? Why couldn't I do it during the mission like I did in 3? Seemed pretty easy.
Argument.
I just didn't get those things, and then like specific objectives that I had to complete just felt like it just didn't feel like Metal Gear to me. It felt like I was going mission to mission as some special agent, essentially, and just doing random missions over and over that really didn't have too much of a purpose outside of kidnap this dude with information or destroy this compound or rescue these civilians. It was good, don't get me wrong. Like, mechanically, gameplay-wise, it was good. But I just didn't feel like it was better than what they had previously done. And like I said, Fallout 3, if it was up against anything else, it probably would have gone through. But for me...
What about Fallout 4?
Fallout 4 will go, for sure. But for me, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Cool. Okay, fair enough. So yes, that's Metal Gear Solid 5 through 3-1. One Bethesda game has escaped through the trapdoor. So, Ben, you're up next for the picking.
2.
Of which you can have 3, 4, or 6.
4.
4. All RPGs. Skyrim.
Oh, yes.
Now, the question is, Chris, what are you going to pick?
Let's go with 1.
Yep, you have 3, 5, or 6.
Let's go with 3.
Against another RPG, it is Final Fantasy X. So, Tim, what's your poison?
Yeah.
Okay, it was 10 and what? Sorry.
I remember this one.
I love the fact that you sounded like you were really thinking about, like, oh man, this is such a hard choice.
Oh no, I was trying to...
Because I don't...
I was really thinking, but I just couldn't remember what the other option was. Maybe it was the fact that it was Skyrim. This one's rough. Because I would be hypocritical in saying that if I were looking at time, I've prioritized more for 10 historically because I've played through it a good 4 times. Gotten the platinum, by the way. Platinum. Loved it. I loved it. I loved it this time. The second time. Not the second time. This is like 4th time I've played it. The same amount that I did when I played it the first time and the second time and the third time. Not so much with Skyrim. But the thing is that when I finally got around to Skyrim, I was immersed start to finish. It took a long time. It took me like a year of attempts to finally click with it.
Oh yeah, I can get that.
Oh, this one's really tough because they both have a special place for me, but I don't know if I can really use my opinion as the deciding factor. I would say, if we're looking at elements of movement, I would say God, because it's not really an advancement on Oblivion either.
Final Fantasy X is not really much of an advancement on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It just looks nicer.
Yeah. It has some system. There's nothing too complicated about it.
Yeah, I mean, it has Whacker as well, so that's a down point.
But it has Lulu, so...
So, wash.
That is a high point.
She has 2 big reasons.
I don't know. I there's something like stupidly endearing about Wacka, so I don't know. I've always kind of enjoyed him because he's that idiot. Not idiot. I don't want to say that. He's that
lovable fool.
Lovable doofus.
Yeah, he's coming out of indoctrination and starting to question his moral fiber and existence and things. And he's a complicated character. He's a simple character in a complicated situation, and he's very interesting in that way. But that aside, this one's so hard. I think in this one, I would say that Skyrim is more overrated.
Okay.
Just because it has a lot of community backing it despite its flaws. Whereas, I don't know much about the Final Fantasy X community, but in general, like, everything kind of seems to be accepted. Whereas, like, there are stupid parts about it. It's not like, oh, it's the greatest ever because of this, not what you're saying. I don't know, though. But that's very much... Dude, that part fucking makes me cry. The stupid laugh. Yeah. But I also want a t-shirt that has it on there.
The laugh has context behind it. It's not because it's stupid. It's a reason he does it.
It's still stupid, but yeah,
because
it's there.
Voice acting was terrible back in the day.
But Gary, it's intended to be stupid.
Yeah, I know. It had a meaning behind it. People just didn't see it that way. They just took it as terrible voice acting.
But yeah,
it's terrible voice acting.
I think that was the point of the laugh, though. Like, it wasn't just like because I thought the voice acting in the whole game was fine.
Hold on. What are you guys talking about? Bad voice acting? Hold up. Him for Titus?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, it's not the voice acting that was bad. It was just like Titus do it. Like, the laugh gets a lot of shit, but it was Titus comparatively. But Titus was doing it to make Yuna laugh in that, bad situation. So that's why he made it sound purposefully annoying and bad.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it, but still, I find that the voice acting in general is not great in there. It's certainly not aged well. Let's put it that way. But because Metal Gear Solid Sons of Liberty was out around just after that. Come on, the difference is night and day with most of it.
True. Very true.
And they had to talk a lot in that game.
Codec.
What day is it tomorrow?
April.
So
30th?
Tim, what are you picking, man?
Yeah, what are you picking? That's a good point.
I said it was Skyrim. Skyrim is overrated in comparison.
Cool. Okay, so Gary.
Yes, Skyrim.
Okay, cool. Ben.
Skyrim.
Chris.
Skyrim.
Okay, so before we save ourselves the time.
You may as well just awarded the award, man.
No, we wanted to give Tim a chance for his speech.
That makes me sad. I didn't even have to brainstorm the whole thing. I could have just said Skyrim, I guess.
Yeah, it's Skyrim. You could have just said Skyrim.
Your opinion was appreciated, but I just knew we've had the argument from the rest of them before. So.
Don't lie to
That's it. Right. So, Tim,
You're a towel.
4 games left. 2 in Group 1, 2 in Group 2. What are you going?
1.
You can have 5 or 6.
5.
5 is the surprisingly still in it Resident Evil.
Oh, good.
So where the game comes up against this is going to be in trouble, I think, perhaps. So that means, Garri, you can have either the one thing in Group 1 or one of the 2 in Group 2.
2.
You can have 3 or 6.
6.
6. Dragon Age Origins.
God damn it!
Welcome to the Black Parade.
I want to change my number right now.
Nope.
I'm throwing the lifeline.
Just before we get there, the next match is a dead rubber. Let's put it that way.
That's a really good song, Neil. Just saying.
Yes, I know. I very much love that album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Garri, well done. Ben.
I'm going to vote for Resident Evil.
Yeah?
Because the same reasons I got before, and I like Dragon Age, so I feel like Dragon Age Origins was one of the better RPGs on the PS3. I mean, Dragon Age 2 was complete crap, but Dragon Age Origins, that was good.
Okay.
Not complete crap, but it was steamy.
No, you're right, it was just one dungeon, so it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't complete crap. There were chunks of food in there, I could see.
The corn.
The sweet corn of content.
Dragon Age is the only good thing EA has. Okay, so don't destroy it.
So you're saying Dragon Age is EA's best Mass Effect?
Yes.
Yes, actually, that's super true.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No exaggeration or stretch there, actually. That's a lot of sense.
Cool. So that's a vote for Resi. Chris?
So for all of the reasons previously stated over all of the last podcasts, I'm going to go with Mass Effect Origins as the overrated game here. And for just for everything that we've already stated, and my own personal opinions about Origins aside, Resident Evil is the father of survival horror games. I don't think anybody would argue with that. But Dragon Age Origins is the father of BioWare RPGs. Well, I guess their KOTOR came before that, but still, modern era, I think we have a lot more to be thankful for Resident Evil than we do for Mass Effect Origins. Or whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is at this point.
Okay. So it's 1 apiece. So, Tim.
Well, if we really want to talk about modern era, which one of those franchises has at least 6 awful movies?
Excuse me? Mia Jovovich? Excuse me?
Excuse you, indeed. Now, which one of those also
Afterlife was really good. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, what?
The one when they're in the prison was good.
No, it really wasn't.
It was the best one out of all of them.
I mean, it was such a lazy film. They put the guy from Prison Break in the film where they had the prison. That just says it all.
I'm sorry, Gary. As much as I just don't like that sentence, it was the best one out of all of them. When it's not like going, okay, this poop is a bit more solid than the rest of them. This one's the best poop.
This one's
exactly
a bit
what
shiny.
I'm saying.
This one's a bit shiny.
Have you ever had a bad poop and then had a really good poop the next day, and you're like, oh man, this poop is a lot better than the one I had yesterday because I didn't eat 8 gallons of Carolina Reaper sauce.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess that's the difference in digestion. Like when you have Resident Evil eating dead things, you're going to have a bad time. But when you eat Dragon Age and eat living things, you're gonna have a better time. And
Hey,
I don't know where that argument went.
They wouldn't have 8 movies if people didn't see them.
Right. So Tim, what are you voting for?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
You bitch.
Yes.
Resident Evil.
Okay, so it's 2-1 in favour of Resi. It's baffling it's getting this far. Cool. So that's leaving it down to you, Garri.
Why?
You've been hurt.
I'm so hurt. Everything hurts right now. Dragon Age.
Dragon Age.
Ooh.
Yeah, Resident Evil has just done too much for the industry. And, yeah.
Someone's watching Wonder Years.
What?
Not me.
I heard like a second of the intro. Someone's watching Wonder Years.
It's a TV commercial.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Wait
yeah.
for that last episode, Gary.
Yeah, Dragon Age, unfortunately.
Cool, which takes it to a tiebreaker, and I hate Dragon Age Origins, so there you go.
Woohoo!
Dragon Age Origins is through. Resident Evil finally leaves.
Boy, that's the Mike Pence of swing votes.
Oh dear. Right, so the final match. You may have noticed one game hasn't been mentioned yet.
Congrats, Fallout 4. You go through.
BioShock.
BioShock went out last round.
Damn it!
oh.
Why did it go out?
Portal 2 against Fallout 4.
Oh, this is gonna be
God!
Fucking damn it.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Finally, Chris has to hate on a game. Now you know how I just felt, bitch.
Where were we? Who had the last vote? Missed that.
Gary.
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 So Ben then. Ben
Not
then.
really? Come on.
Yeah.
Do I need to even say anything?
For the benefit.
Ben has to vote for which game he hates the least.
Well, I love Portal 2. As I said, I've got a companion cube and everything. I love that game.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, Fallout is overrated.
Chris then.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is more overrated. I really hated that Portal 2 got this far into the competition because, for all intents and purposes, it's one of the best puzzlers ever. And kudos to whether or not Valve is still making games or not. Kudos to them for that awesome game.
Stealing.
Stealing.
Cool. That's 2 votes in the shoot. Tim.
This is gonna be fun.
Come on, Tim.
Make it exciting.
Tim was like, I don't know how to do puzzles, but I'm also very good at shooters.
Okay.
I love you, Tim.
Here's the deciding factor, Gary asshole Zarov. Bag of assholes.
But Tim, does Fallout 4 have a companion cube and cake?
But okay, here's the thing.
It probably does, you know. You should probably wander around. You'll find both. That's just the nature of that sort of game. And plus, you can find skeletons in.
It has fancy lad snack cakes.
Yeah. It has skeletons in strange positions.
You had me at skeletons. This argument is going to go a similar way as it did with Fallout, in the sense that with one of these games, I went in knowing exactly what I was to be expected.
Yeah.
And that one was Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly what was going to happen. It happened. Over and over and over.
You couldn't get past the first puzzle?
A similar thing happened in Fallout 4, where I got stuck constantly doing the same repeated quests over and over and over, and I wasn't paying attention because up until that point, everything was fairly mindless. And I realized that I had been doing this same 2 or 3 repeated quests for about 5 hours. And that was the last time I played Fallout 4. That's the last time I've seen any other content from Fallout 4. I've pursued anything. I haven't had any interest in seeing the end of that game since then. However,
Someone disagreed.
with Portal 2, even though I couldn't get past the first lab fall, says Garri,
You didn't deny it.
I went out of my way to see how the story played out. I cared about that game, even though I couldn't play it. So, Fallout 4 is overrated.
Plus, Portal 2 had J.K. Simmons doing Cave Johnson in some of the best video game dialogue ever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. So it doesn't matter now. But Garri, what do you pick?
Your vote doesn't matter. Ha ha ha.
Fine. Then I'm not gonna give you one.
Give it to me.
Just for that. No, I was actually gonna pick Portal 2.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Because by the time Fallout 4 broke on me, I was slowly growing to enjoy it, and then I stopped enjoying it because I got stuck in a house that I couldn't get out of.
Oh yeah.
Because the game didn't let me enter the house in the first place. Thanks, autosave. Yeah, so outside of the weight capacity that game forced me to have, which everybody knows I hate inventory weight limits. It's like the number one fuck you to me in video games. I was starting to enjoy Fallout 4. I was. And I love the setting, the Massachusetts setting. I love the city in general. I wish I could visit it more often, but
oh man, yeah, it is honestly, for exploring, it's a bloody wonderful place to explore.
yeah.
It's just,
And I was getting there up until that happened to me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So
All I know is this means we can still have our Skyrim versus Fallout 4 competition.
yeah. So it means that we concluded the 8s, but we're going to draw for the next round tonight, so that everyone can be prepared with their arguments and thoughts the next time, because it's going to probably be the quarterfinals and the semi-finals happening. So predestined path set out from here on in. So I've jumbled up the numbers of each winner, and basically I'm going to go around and ask each person to pick one, and then as we draw, we won't be voting on these yet, of course, unless they're blindingly obvious, and then
couldn't know what we're voting against before we get there.
Yeah, that's why you'll get to find out now what's going to be going against what, so you can prepare your thoughts for next week, because we're at the important stage now. It's the quarterfinals.
You mean we can't just say I hate this game?
You can, but
Not very thoughtful.
it's not really good for the medium of talk, is it? If you're just shit, mate. It's
Neither is verbally abusing your co-host, Chris.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know what you're talking about.
All I know is I'm excited, and I just
Okay.
can't hide it.
So it's like doing the FA Cup draw, which is relevant to know.
I'm less excited now.
All right, it's like the Oscars. There you go. Except
Fuck
not
the Oscars.
Right, so we'll go around. Tim, you get to pick a ball from 1 to 8. Rummage around in there and pick a ball out with a number on it. 1 to 8. Come on. What do you got?
4.
4? I'm trying to determine if that was the number 4 or if you just how it looks.
Tim vanished, so I answered for him.
Oh dear. What happened
Tim,
to-
are you on mute again? Unmute yourself, man.
5 ball.
Right. What did you pick? 5, yeah?
The 5 ball.
The 5 ball is
The ball of 5.
The 5 ball is Nathan Drake's Uncharted. No.
Uncharted what?
Uncharted 4.
Uncharted first.
Among IKEA. Right. So, Garri,
1.
I better write these down.
number 1 is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Lady, may I have a pen?
I can throw you the list afterwards, but
Throw me a pen instead.
Please do.
I would like to, but oceans.
Come on, man. You got the arm.
Just lob it.
Once you get into orbit, it'll go farther.
Ben.
Because of all the hate today, I'm going to go with 8.
Hate for the 8. Bless you.
He's allergic to my number.
Mass
Thank you.
Effect 2.
You guys heard that?
Yeah.
It's a little old, isn't it, Gary?
Oh, I muted myself. Can you hear me now?
What's that?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Oh,
The hell,
dear.
my mute button doesn't work anymore.
Huh.
I can't talk shit without you guys hearing me.
Like you let that stop you anyway.
We wouldn't know the difference.
In fact, I would encourage you not to let it stop you.
Womp
No, I
womp.
thought I just muted it to sneak, but I guess my mute doesn't work on my headset anymore. God damn.
So anyway, yeah, Ben picked number 8, which is Mass Effect 2. So Chris,
What numbers do I have left?
we have had. I should delete the numbers as they go. We have had 5, we have had 8, and we did have that other one, which is sorry because I jumbled them up. They're not in order, funnily enough. Strange that. And number 1. So you can have
Number 2.
number 2. Yeah, you can have a number 2 if you so wish, which is Chrono Cross. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
There you go, Chris. Way to go.
Tim, you can have numbers 3, 4, 6, 7.
7.
7 is COD Modern Warfare 2. And that means Gary. You can have the remaining. What was that?
I don't know.
3, 4, 6. 3, 4, or 6.
4.
For the hammer of Fallout 4.
Sweet.
Sweet.
And
That'll be
yes,
easy.
that leaves. Well, you say that it got a point in this round, so you never know. So yes, that means Skyrim goes up against Dragon Age in the Battle of the Disappointing RPG.
Yes.
And because of this, and as I said, now we are predetermined going forward. That means that the first 2 matches picked will face each other in the next round after that, and vice versa. It means that we could potentially have an all Bethesda semi-final. So.
Oh no, Chris is gonna make sure Dragon.
But we'll find that out next week.
Can we just call it now and say that Skyrim and Dragon Age are the worst ever? Just most overrated. Can we just do that? Because we all like
Chris.
the other games. We all like
Chris.
the other games in some form or another.
Nobody likes Chrono Cross but you.
I'm going to
It's
be
the worst.
sad that Chrono Cross wins just because none of us know what it is.
It's so overrated because we have no idea.
I swear to if you push Dragon Age through, I'm gonna destroy Chrono Cross.
Well, there you go. There's your
Well,
hook.
By all means, Gary, the race is on. We'll see what happens.
Gary, how do you kill what's already dead?
You put Chris in front of it.
I don't understand.
Oh my god. Chris is a terrifying person in real life. Have you seen his real face?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
I assume that was
I
his real face.
The animated picture? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's Chris.
Yes.
Good.
So
Much
what
like
you're
yes.
saying is you don't want to Chrono Cross him?
Wow. I don't want to talk to him.
Only in
fucking love you,
chronological. Only in chronological order.
My word.
man. Don't trigger me.
Don't.
Trigger's a horse, to be fair. So.
Yeah, it is.
My horse is amazing.
Give it a lick.
Right, we are half an hour from having to record the next podcast, so I suppose we should end this. Despite all we said. So we're
I just want to spoil God of War for you right now, Chris.
I will never speak to you again if you do.
Well, good. That means you won't be on the podcast to destroy Dragon Age.
I'll come on just to destroy Dragon Age.
No.
Don't worry, I'm going to vote for Skyrim.
Let's not discuss votes in public.
That's really cool.
Until the mandated time. Right, so we are done for another week. Please, of course, like us, subscribe to us, all those things. I don't know why you suddenly listen to this, the 6th episode of an ongoing tournament, but out of nowhere. But if you did, thank you. That's lovely. But yes, please rate us, review us on the iTunes. It helps a lot. But yeah, we've had some good numbers here and there, so we'll just keep that going. Shout outs as ever are going to go across the boards. We will start in the order we've been doing it all night. Tim.
General leader base. Everybody, you guys. Bernie Sanders, we love you.
Yeah, why not? That's not a bad shout.
Push this.
Is that it?
I
guess
guess.
Sure.
So I was waiting for the next bit.
It sounded like he started to go underwater.
He's just slowly sinking while he's doing it.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody alive now that's better than Bernie Sanders, so I don't know if I can really think of anybody else now.
I'm still here.
Anybody is better than Bernie. Nobody. There is nobody I can think of.
I'm still right here.
Oh, man. Everybody else is just disappearing from my brain now.
I don't believe this.
Oh no, my virus has got too powerful.
The bee
But-
virus.
Gary, what be your
Yo.
shouts and shit?
Shout out to Alfonso for defending me from all the hatred, which we'll probably have to do again this week.
He doesn't deserve it.
He's the Brock Lesnar of this podcast.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, Alfonso, you guys for having me on, the listeners for putting up with us.
Yeah, good stuff. Ben.
I'd like to shout out to Klaus Nightbringer at Phoenix Down Radio with Sarah and Luna. Go check them out at www.phoenixdownradio.com. Shout out to Alfonso on Twitter. A shout out to Evolved Male, aka Girlfriend's Favourite Streamer at twitch.tv/Evolved Male. Go check it out. He's had his kid recently, so he's exhausted all the time. So he sometimes streams the Overwatch. Go check out Maelstrom Radio. Again, we were talking about earlier. www.maelstromradio.com or twitch.tv/maelstromradio. And I guess shout out to everyone else that's listening. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come back next week.
Yeah, because it's a good shout, Chris.
Shout out to friends, family, fans, you homies, and,
Hey, come on,
and
Chris.
followers. I'm short and simple.
No,
By the way,
no,
That's about right.
That's what she said.
I did a Twitter poll to see if I should do any giveaways this week, and I asked, should I give a big prize out, a small prize, or should I save money to go to FanFest in America in November? It seems more people voted for me to go to FanFest in November. So
Yeah.
shout out to
Yeah.
those that
Nice
voted
followers.
Yep. Had to push you in that direction for your own good. Your own good. Had to be done.
But I want a big prize.
For that. Well, you get to meet me in November again, Gary, maybe, so...
Ben's going to give you a big prize in November.
Yeah, Gary,
Snorlax, yay.
I think we've got like 3 outstanding competitions that no one answered to, so you're fine. You can enter any of those. But yes, that is that for another week. Join us next week. Where
Did you
we'll
say
do this.
that or knack?
No, sure, why not? Yeah, so quarterfinals next week and probably the semi-finals as well, which means we do the final as well. Fucking hell, jeez, yeah, it could all be over next week. You never know. Depends how heated the arguments get. We may have a regular podcast again, as we're all coming closer to finishing God of War, or have finished God of War. And we kind of want to do that. It's also pay-per-view time, a proper one next week. Yeah. So there'll be wrestling, not ones that come from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so we'll have all that and more And of course, the anime podcast, which we're recording straight after this, but will probably be out before this. So check that out if you haven't already. There are words about animated things from the Japan. Until then, until next time, tatty bye.
Oh, by the way, we're getting closer to our 5-year anniversary, so...
Did you just cockblock my tatty bye?
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Well played.
I tatty bye. Yes.
If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
That's going to be my tagline on the shirt.